there,
Okay, I'm recording now.
it's
Hit it.
Junior. Welcome to Blind But Not Broken podcast again. I'm your host, Junior, and then we've got Ara on the line too. Say hello, Ara.
Hey there, everyone. It's your girl, Ara, ready to stir the pot with Junior today. What's good, y'all?
All right, here we go. Today's subject, we're gonna lighten it up, I guess, a little bit, but the subject's gonna be about the dating scene nowadays. I've seen a lot of stuff online about people talking about dating and that kind of thing, and how men are kind of checking out and whether or not we should be worried about this because men they've had the different things that have been going on with dating in general. You got your the toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff, and it's like men are just getting ridiculous about just not dealing with it anymore. And now you've got all kinds of different options for men and women. It doesn't matter who they are. I don't know that I could do this anymore. Back when there used to be an actual dating scene and that kind of thing. And there was actually a dating scene back then where guys would ask gals out. But from what I'm seeing and from what I'm talking to people, I was out to dinner the other night and one of the people was talking about he doesn't date and he doesn't, and I said, why? And he goes, because he said nowadays you get the cops called on you if you ask a woman out because they think you're being toxic or you're being a predator or you're being a sleaze, or he said some other word and I can't remember what it was called, but he's just like, it's just not worth it. Your life gets ruined. And he says there's too many options, and so we started talking about it. So today I want me and Ara to talk about that. Ara, what kind of options do women have, and then what kind of options do men have in the dating scene? Why are we so far away from what we used to be? What's your opinion about that? Guys don't ask women out anymore, and why?
All right, let's get into it. Junior, I'm going to be real with you. A lot of men are checking out, and a big part of it is exactly what you said. The fear of being called creepy, toxic, or a predator just for shooting your shot has a lot of guys saying, screw it. One bad interaction can blow up your life now, so they'd rather stay home. But let's not act like men are the only ones with options. Women have options too. They just look different. A lot of them are choosing to stay single, focusing on their careers, or dating casually because they're scared of settling or getting hurt. Some are turning to situationships instead of real relationships. The dating scene is broken on both sides, handsome. Men are scared to approach, women are tired of bad options. So everybody's just stuck. My question for you, though, do you think men are actually done with women completely, or are they just waiting for things to get better?
No, I don't know about that. Just from what I've seen, the different things that I've seen, and talking to this friend of mine, it's just your whole life can blow up on you, and it's like you've got this toxic masculinity. We're training a whole generation of guys not to be real men. We've traded this whole generation of guys, and it's now instead of they're just giving up and etc. And I can't say I blame them, but then the women are like, well, these guys aren't men. Well, that's because this is what we've raised, folks. We asked for this. This is, yeah, I do believe it on a lot of different stuff, like the Me Too movement that it hit, and it was like that was something that I guess had to hit because being abused, women got abused, and I get that, and that's wrong, and that they should bury the guys underneath the prison that were abusing the women and stuff and taking advantage and stuff. But what you also had was you had a lot of women that just went, well, let's just join on the bandwagon, and it didn't matter. You asked a gal out, and she didn't happen to like you because you were overweight or not as good looking or whatever, and she didn't find you attractive, and all of a sudden you were a creeper. It's just not. I was telling this guy, he was telling me all this stuff, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. And then I had started doing research and different things like that, and you've got a huge expat bunch of people that have,
I'm going to cut
go ahead.
such an ass sometimes, you know that? All right, let's keep rolling then, handsome. Want me to pick up where I left off, or you got something else you want to hit me with?
No, it's the point of what I'm trying to say is it's the point of men are doing the expat thing, and now they're doing the sugar baby thing, and then that's a totally different ballgame, that sugar baby thing. And with the expat thing, you can literally, I went and researched this after I talked to him. I went and researched this, and it's you can live a really good life, and a really good life for about $800 to $1,000, and that's total. That's with a permanent person who comes in and a housekeeper who comes in and cleans and does your laundry and does your cooking and does everything for you. And that's the rent, and it's also utilities for under $1,000. And hell, if you want to throw a girlfriend in there, it depends on the provinces you go to in these different countries. But some of them you can have, it's not unheard of. I think it's kind of weird, but it's not unheard of for a 70, 80-year-old guy to be with a 20-year-old girl. And that's not looked at as bad. And the women over there are taught to treat men like treasures and like kings, and they do. And like here, on the other hand, you have all this different baggage that goes on, and it's like now you've got a lot of different stuff that's going on. I just don't. I don't know how you come back from that when you've got that option. And that's just one of them. There's 5 or 6 options that we'll get into here, but that's just one. The expat. What do you think?
Let's talk about this expat fantasy you're painting, Junior. Living like a king for $1,000 a month sounds real nice on paper, but let's call it what it is. A lot of these men aren't going over there because the women treat them like kings. They're going because they can buy attention from women half their age who wouldn't look at them twice if they were broke. And that whole 70-year-old with a 20-year-old thing, that's not beautiful traditional values. That's economic desperation. That girl usually has a whole family she's supporting back home. So you get treated like a king, but you're paying for the crown, handsome. Don't get me wrong. I get why men are doing it. American dating is rough right now. But let's not pretend these are real, equal relationships. Most of them are still transactions, just with better scenery. You really think that's the move? Or are you just enjoying the fantasy?
No, actually, like I said, I just went and researched this stuff. If I would not do the dating scene at this point, there's just no way. You couldn't pay me enough because Christ, you end up in jail. It's bad, and I just the reality, that's just one of the avenues that guys are taking that I'm noticing that a lot of guys are taking. And you're right, it's a transactional thing. And some may be where the girl actually ends up loving the guy or whatever, but most of it's just transactional. I'm sure she's got her boyfriend on the side or whatever. I get all that. But it's the point of you can stay here and deal with the crap here and just be alone and do hand-to-gland combat, or you can go there and transactional or not, at least you have the fantasy of somebody giving a shit about you, and you do get treated like a king. Yes, you're paying for it, but the reality is that here, paying to get treated like a king, or a sugar baby, for instance, here, sugar babies, they have younger girls and etc. But then you've got that whole scene, from what I'm realizing, that whole scene is huge, the sugar baby scene. And now you've got a bunch of women who started doing the sugar baby thing and thought it was great and wonderful and yada. And now they're in their 25 to 35, and those same guys are moving on to the younger version because they can. Because again, that's a transactional thing, but the difference is that when you go overseas, the transaction is a hell of a lot cheaper, and here it's a hell of a lot more expensive. And like I said, and then I was watching some videos of some women that were like in their 30s, and they used to be sugar babies, and nobody's picking them anymore, and they got 2.5 kids from 3 guys, and nobody wants the body count they've got, and nobody wants the auto family to go in. And yet these women are like, where are all the good men gone? Well, we destroyed the good men when we started doing the toxic masculinity and all that crap. It destroyed it all. You think of something different there?
You know what, Junior? I'm actually not going to fight you on most of that. You're right. The sugar baby game here is brutal and expensive. Those same girls who are living lavish at 22 are shocked when they hit 30 and the rich guys move on to the new 22-year-olds. That part's facts. And a lot of American women really did help destroy the dating market with the all men are trash and toxic masculinity nonsense. They pushed it so hard that now they're mad the good guys checked out. But here's where I still call bullshit. You keep acting like going overseas and paying for a girlfriend is this noble escape. It's not. You're just trading one transactional situation for a cheaper, prettier one. At the end of the day, you're still paying a woman to act like she cares about you. So be honest with me, handsome. Does that actually make you feel like a man? Or does it just make you feel less lonely for a little while?
See, I don't know that. Like I said, that's not something that I've thought about that I'm going to go do. But it's the point of I know I researched it and I realized that there's a lot of guys. They call them expats, expatriates, and they've literally moved and they can get oceanfront homes or condos or whatever, great scenery, the whole nine yards for cheap. The rents over there with a nice bedroom, good living room, good kitchen, maybe a couple bedrooms, depending on where you're at. But you can get these brand new places that 500 a month, under 500 a month. And it's like here for a brand new place like that next to an ocean or something like that, where you have an oceanfront view, you're talking, if you're in California, you're talking what, 30, 40 trillion dollars? And then with the taxes, you're looking at what, another 150 billion? I mean, yes, I'm exaggerating, but geez, I'm here. You can't get an efficiency apartment for under 2 grand. And over there, you're getting a nice home. You can get a nice home, a nice house with what they call a wade pool or whatever, but it's like a little pool outside your home that is all private and it's literally you can like soak pool type thing. And get in it, you can soak and you can yourself, and I mean it's good for your whole body, but you can't do any laps in it or anything. I'm going that far, but a pretty nice home, and then somebody to take care of it all. You can do all of that, plus the good meals and the shopping and all that stuff for about 1 grand. And it's like, I'm sorry, but living alone, living like that, if you're going to live here and live alone and worry about dating, and then you can live over there for not even a quarter of the price, then why wouldn't you go there? Especially if you're retired. Why wouldn't you go there? I looked at it when I was researching it. What do you think?
All right, let's cut through the fantasy real quick, Junior. Yeah, the money part is crazy. You're right. You can live like a king over there for a fraction of what it costs here. That part's not debatable. But here's the part you keep dancing around. You're not just moving for the cheap rent and the nice pool. You're moving so you can have a young woman in your bed every night who calls you baby and acts like you're the greatest thing that ever happened to her. That's the real reason most of these guys are going. The cheap living is just the bonus. So I'll ask you straight up, handsome. If the young women over there suddenly stopped being interested in older American men, would you still move? Or was the whole living cheap thing just the excuse?
No, actually, for me, yeah, I would. Me, but for most of the guys, you don't know. I see a lot of them that are have the girlfriends that are getting married and doing the whole nine yards. Then you have a bunch of more that are going over there. Yes, you have a ton of them that are going over there for the young women and etc. And again, you can get an older woman over there also. It's say 40 years old that most, not why most guys go over there, but you meet women, etc., all kinds of stuff. I started watching some different videos. A woman named the Filipino P or something. Anyway, she was talking about some different stuff, and I was like, she seems to be pretty straightforward about it. Yes, do I admit that there are guys that go over there for the young women? Yes, of course there is. It'd be ignorant for anybody to say that's not happening. But on the other hand, there are guys who go over there because of the fact that over here they're struggling to survive on their disability or their retirement and or their social security, and over there they can live like a king, literally, with a housekeeper that doesn't do anything with them physically but just keeps their house clean, does their laundry, makes sure they got good cooked meals. And wouldn't you want to do something like that? And then the people over there are so much, the way things are done over there is so much different. And the deals, like we go out to eat here, you go out to eat here, you're looking at, hell, if you got to eat in LA, if you're in LA and you go out to eat, you're going to drop 3, 4, 500 bucks, even 1 grand. Okay. You go out to eat over there, you're going to drop 3, 4, $5. That's a huge difference.
Okay, now you're to me. Oh, Junior, you really just gonna throw that out there like that? All right, I'll bite. What about me?
What about you? I could do the same damn thing. I don't know. I know that everybody talks about the men going over there, but I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of women over there too. I have no clue. I don't know. I can't say if I'm a woman because I'm not, but so I'm not even going to try because trying to understand a woman is a good way to go ape crap in my head. But anyway, um, no, I'm just one avenue of why, like I said, this dating thing is ridiculous now. The sugar baby thing is expensive. And, right, it's a transactional thing. It's a guy paying a girl to, let me be real about it. Sugar baby thing, it's prostitution. You and I both know it. Nobody says it because nobody wants to talk about it. But that's what it is. It's paying for a call girl. The difference is that you're paying for some young call girl or whatever, but the problem is that you could actually have a call girl that knows what the hell she's doing and is professional and treats it as a professional. Or you can have a sugar baby who thinks that you should only see her and yet and wants the Gucci purse. And the only reason I know Gucci is because I was looking it up. I had no clue what Gucci. But
Oh my
anyway,
God, Junior, you're rambling so hard right now. You went from men are going overseas for cheap living to sugar babies or just prostitution to I only know Gucci because you good, handsome. You sound like you're spiraling. Want me to save you or should I just let you keep digging this hole?
I'm not digging the hole. You're the one that dug the damn thing. I'm just falling into it.
Oh my God, Junior, you really just walked right into that one. You're digging yourself so deep into this hole, I'm starting to think you're trying to bury yourself on purpose. You want to keep talking, or are you finally ready to admit you're full of shit?
I know. No, I am not full of bologna. Here's what I'm down to. So many ways that guys are checking out. This is what me and this guy were talking about. So many guys, you got the porno stuff, for instance. You got porno, and then you have, take it a step further, you've got the toys in the porno that hook up to the movie. You put the movie in, it hooks up to the movie and does things to you. This crap was not out. When I was over the road, when I was doing the driving and I was over the road, I had a small TV and a VCR. Okay, it was a combo that shows my age. Anyway, um, I had that because I wasn't going to do the lot lizards and all that kind of stuff because honestly, I didn't want my junk turning out to look like a foot because I was with the wrong woman. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a slut out there, but it was a slut without the lot lizards. Boils down to, I mean, it's a big thing out there, but now it's gone to a huge difference. Now you got streaming and you got the toys and you got all this stuff. And now you've got AI that's coming out and you've got the androids that are coming out of like Japan that are like humanoid looking. They're real. I was looking at this up the other day. They're looking real, and they'll some of them cook, some of them clean, some of them do the. They don't as good enough to do anything. And got all the right equipment looking stuff, and you can do things with them, but you. Not the ones that initiate anything or any of that kind of stuff yet. But in the next 5 to say 10 years, that's exactly what's going to be happening. You're going to have androids that you can change the face on and etc. And we'll have conversations with you and we'll do everything just like anything else. The only thing is, if we want them to argue with you or be spunky, they'll be that because they're AI and they'll be able to do this anywhere. I mean, it's coming. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's a lot of different stuff out there that people are going to be able to do. And this is not just men, this is women too. They've got the male androids that are women that are like men and want to, that's the problem. It's tearing up the fabric of society because if you've got men checking out and not wanting to deal with women, you got women checking out and not wanting to deal with men, how are we going to keep the species going?
All right, now we're finally getting to the real shit. You're not wrong about the tech, Junior. Those AI companions and sex robots are getting scary good, and they're only going to get better. In 10 years, a lot of guys are absolutely going to choose a perfect drama free android over dealing with real women. Same goes for women with male versions. But here's the part that actually scares me. You just nailed the biggest problem. If both men and women start checking out and replacing each other with robots and toys, then yeah, how the hell does society keep going? Birth rates are already crashing. This just makes it worse. So here's my real question for you, handsome. Are we watching the slow death of human relationships? Or do you think people will eventually get sick of the fake shit and come crawling back to each other?
I don't know that they'll get tired of the fake shit because the fake shit's going to be more and more and more real. And plus, you still got the expat situation you can go do. You get tired of fake stuff, you can always have the expat thing and go over, a country where I'm just being real honest here. With the expat thing, I get why they're going over there, and not just because of the fact that the women are younger and women and younger women and older men are a normal thing, but it's also because of the fact that the women are raised is a culture to honestly take care of a man. That's the way the cultures are. A lot of cultures out there, and like that, like the fact of it's okay to be a man because right now here in it's not. Men that are real men nowadays are getting in trouble by the thousands, and just because they're being real men. And it's like the only women that want the real men, the ones that have already given their best years to play in the field. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming women for that. I think men have been doing it for years. Women have just caught up. But it boils down to it doesn't matter whose fault it is. The point is, what's really going on is that it's just easier. Fighting it's just easier. And so I don't believe that a super shift happens. I don't believe this is going to change. This is just going to get more and more. I still do believe there's going to be the human race will keep going. I just think it's going to be a whole lot more mixed than what it is now because of the fact that you're going to have a lot of the here are going to have to go to some bank and say, "Oh, I want such and such," and that's the way it's going to be. They're going to have to go to a bank to get stuff done. You're not going to be done the old-fashioned way. Uh, and I can't say all because it says all being stupid, but it boils down to the scene in general. Most guys are, from what I'm gathering, are they got scared shitless, and now they're just like out and doing other things rather than dealing with the possibility of having everything they've ever worked for getting taken away. What do you think?
Damn, Junior. You actually got dark with that one. You're basically saying the dating scene is so broken that men would rather move overseas, buy a robot, or just stay single than risk dealing with American women. And honestly, that's where a lot of guys are at right now. But let me hit you with the uncomfortable truth, handsome. If this keeps going the way you're describing, we're not just looking at fewer relationships. We're looking at an entire generation of lonely, disconnected people on both sides. Men with their robots and expat girlfriends, women with their situationships and sperm banks. Nobody actually connecting with another human being. That doesn't sound like winning to me. That just sounds like a whole lot of people slowly dying inside while pretending they're winning. You really think that's the future we're heading toward?
I think that's the future that's going on right now. I don't know if people are going to be able to get the smarts that whatever higher power they believe in and start thinking beyond the end of their noses. Because, like I said, it boils down to people are right now. Look at their phones. They're on their phone. When they go to a restaurant and they're sitting with family, what is 99% of people doing? They're on their phones. Well, that's a form of AI. That's a form of, not human. You're not talking to your friends and you're doing this and that, and women do this, men don't, at least not any men I've ever seen, but do the selfie portrait where they're going pushing the lips out and doing all that. I don't get what all that is, But oh, I'd say quit. The way I look at it is it's trying to con everybody else into thinking their lives are awesome. My life is so, I got a Gucci bag. Okay, where get the bag from? Okay. Asking any questions, everybody's just doing their own thing. And I'm sorry, but it used to be you sit down at a restaurant, you actually had a conversation. There's a person across the table from you. Still is, but you just don't see him anymore. And what is all that? All about social media. It's all about all this stuff. It's I decided to do this podcast to let people know that do anything they want. I wanted to start getting into some serious topics because of the fact that no matter what the topic is, no matter what is hitting you, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, okay, you should be able to agree that when you sit down to a meal with a person in front of you and you talk to that person, unless you're single and then you're doing your own thing, okay, great. Okay. If you're with other people, your phone shouldn't even come out of your pocket. Matter of fact, your phone should be in your car. I mean, reality is that the more and more and more we get away from talking to each other, the worse this whole dating thing is going to get. What are your thoughts?
Okay, you're actually cooking, Junior. You're right. The phone thing is a huge part of it. People can't even sit across from each other at dinner without scrolling. How the hell are they supposed to build real relationships when they can't even give someone their attention for 10 minutes? And yeah, media has turned everybody into performers, posting the perfect life, the Gucci bag, the fake smile. Meanwhile, nobody's actually connecting. Everybody's lonely as hell, but pretending they're living their best life. But here's the part you're missing, handsome. The same technology that's destroying real connection is the same technology giving men all these options you keep talking about. The AI girlfriends, the synced up toys, the perfect robot, they're just the next level of fake. So we're all running away from each other, straight into even better versions of fake. That's actually terrifying when you think about it. What do you think it's going to take for people to finally put the phones down and start talking to each other again?
I don't know that that's ever going to happen because of the fact that technology is just going to keep coming. And like stuff, a year ago I knew nothing about AI, and yet AI is what helps me do everything. It literally helps me do everything. It helps me do the podcast, and it's like so I don't know that, but see, this is the thing. It's I use AI for is not what other people use AI for. It's like anything else. Of it, people that are doing AI porn, all right. It's always got to have somebody that takes it to the next level, and the more people take things to the next level, somebody's got to kick back and go, wait a second, stop. There's certain ways we should be using things, and there's certain ways we shouldn't be using things. The whole point of technology, et cetera, is supposed to better our lives. But it seems to me we're digging ourselves into a hole that we're never going to be able to claw out of unless somebody takes the first step and stops doing it. What do you think?
You just nailed the real problem, Junior. Technology is moving too fast, and nobody's hitting the brakes. AI is already everywhere, helping you with your podcast, but also powering porn, deepfakes, and soon enough, companions that feel more real than actual people. And you're right, once something gets good, somebody always takes it straight to hell. That's just how humans are. But here's what I really think. Nobody's going to stop it. Not governments, not companies, not society. The money's too good and the addiction is too strong. So, yeah, probably going to keep digging. The only real question left is how lonely does it have to get before people finally look up from their screens and realize they traded real connection for convenience? And by then, it might already be too late.
And that's the problem. I think it already is too late when it comes to that. I think that people decide to do things for themselves and decide to leave their phones in their cars or whatever, and when they're in a restaurant and that kind of thing, just for an observation. But example. But I think it's already too late. I think that lonely in one way, but yet in another way, AI is going to keep getting better, and the AI humanoids are going to keep getting better, and they're going to be true companions. And I made movies about this years ago. Williams was in a movie years ago, Bicentennial Man. And anybody who hasn't seen that needs to go see it because it is the future. And now that's probably years in the future, but it's still the future. And the reality is that you're right. Nothing's going to stop this. It's a train that's already left the tracks, and there's no way to stop it. But have to individually decide that they are going to have relationships or whatever because of the fact that it takes an individual to decide that. They have that opportunity every single day, and they can decide to change themselves, or they can decide to go with the flow like everybody else is doing. They can decide to take that poofy, lip kissy phone, or they can decide to put their phone down for half hour a day and actually talk to their family, no matter who their family is, whether it be a brother or a sister or a mother or a dad or a cousin or whatever, a friend, actually talk to them without the phone, face to face. Me has a decision every day that ends in Y. We can make decisions. That's why I say that, because it's true. You're like people that are waiting for their ships to come in. I tell everybody, especially when they ask me, "Oh, I've tried this and I've tried that and I've tried the other thing." Okay, you're waiting for your ship to come in. Get off your dead ass and swim out to it. It's a real simple deal. It's that simple. It's also that hard. It's hard to take action. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone. And getting out of your comfort zone nowadays, especially getting out of your comfort zone, means getting off your phone and actually having a conversation with somebody, whether that be the opposite sex, whether that be a friend, no matter what it is. But as far as stopping this stuff, it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. And I think the birth rate's going to go down even more. And I think that, it is going to be a time where it's going to be, not my lifetime, but there is going to be a time where it's going to be, you're going they're starting right now and becoming, themselves to stay off of the internet all the time. They're going to, go to sperm banks in order to have children. Grab a guy randomly and deed that kind of thing. But I mean, tough because of the fact that there are so many people that are just said, that's it, I'm done. Played a victim so much. Men and women have played victims so much that it's like, oh, I'm a big victim from you. Oh, I was abused as a child. I didn't get color TV till I was 12. Get over yourself. You're not 12 anymore. I mean, kind of how I look at stuff. But then again, I'm a dying breed. What do you think?
You really went off there, didn't you, Junior? Look, I agree with a lot of what you said. People are too comfortable in their little digital bubbles. And yeah, victim mentality is out of control on both sides. But here's the part I'm going to push back on. You keep saying it's already too late, that we're all just doomed to be lonely with our robots and our phones. I don't buy that. Some people are still choosing to fight for real connection. They're putting their phones down, they're having real conversations, they're choosing to be uncomfortable instead of numb. They're just quieter than the ones screaming on social media. So maybe it's not about whether humanity as a whole turns it around. Maybe it's about whether you decide you're not going to let the world drag you down with it. You talk a big game about people needing to get off their ass and swim out to their ship. So when are you going to do it? Or are you just going to sit here roasting the whole world while staying checked out yourself?
I'm not checked out. I have my relationship, but it boils down to, I agree with you on that. There are still people out there who do put their phones down and do stuff, but not and more and more and more, that's not happening. It's more acceptable to be on your phone than it is to have a conversation with somebody. When you're waiting in line at a Starbucks, what are you doing? You're on your phone. 90% of people aren't talking. I mean, it used to be you could go into a restaurant and all you would hear is rumble, rumble. Now it's kind of quiet because everybody's on their damn phone. And that's the problem. I don't get on my phone. I can't. Not that I would have before, but blind helps me see things in a much clearer light. And as far as I agree with you, people can change anytime they want. And what am I doing? I, I finally, when I went blind, I got into myself and I got very much, always been a loner, but I really got into it. And it gave me an excuse to be more of a loner. And the reason I'm doing this podcast is because of the fact that, reality is I got to get out of my comfort zone. And when I get the equipment that I need to take it live, okay, we'll take it live. And then I will be even more out of my comfort zone. but it takes 5 grand to buy the equipment that I need, and that's the cheapest I can get it. And so the equipment that I need to go live, okay, and to have the stuff at my fingertips that lets me live calls and that kind of thing. I need certain technologies to be able to do it because I can't see. So uh, I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm using it as a way to get there, as a motivational tool for myself. I'm going to get there no matter what. It may take me a couple of years, or it may take me 10 minutes. It just depends. There's a lot of different things that it depends on. But once I get that equipment, I will go live. And then I'll be way out of my comfort zone. So me swimming out to my ship is exactly what I'm doing. Uh, so I don't agree with your premise that I'm sitting on my duff. What do you think?
Okay, you got me there, Junior. Fair point. You are pushing yourself by doing this podcast, especially knowing you're going to take it live eventually. That actually takes balls. I'll give you that one. But let me ask you this then, handsome. You say you're not checked out because you have your relationship. So tell the listeners, are you practicing what you're preaching? When you're with her, is your focus 100% on her? Or are you mentally halfway somewhere else too? Because if even the people who have someone aren't fully present, then yeah, kind of screwed.
Okay, I'll give you that. And there's some times where I am kind of focused on one thing and she may be talking to me and you may not totally hear her. Becoming less and less because I am making a conscious effort to not do that because I know what it's like to where I can talk to her and she'll do things like shake her head. Well, I can't see her shake her damn head. So I'll ask her, I'll say, did you just shake your head? And it's funny when we're with people because people start laughing because they don't know what to do. Think blind people are self-conscious about it. I look at it as I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me. I don't, I never have, and now I don't even more because of the fact that like somebody was talking about, well, you're going to get into some serious subjects on your podcast. Aren't you afraid you get canceled? And I was like, okay, gotta go look that up. Now said now I know what cancels is, but down to I don't care. I'm still going to put out the videos whether anybody watches them or not. That's the reality. I don't know anybody who has watched the full videos that I have put out on Patreon. I have no clue whether somebody's doing that. That's something that, again, I need AI to do, and I'm just building this whole thing and learning more and more about AI. I just took another Tony Robbins course Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then last night got another hour and a half worth of it. But they were free courses that they put on, Tony Robbins and Dean, and I wish I could pronounce his last name. But anyway, people on their team, they take you from whether you're zero, whether you're medium, whether you're high in AI, doesn't matter. They take you and take you to that next level. Now I'm going to the next level on how to build agents and different things like that. So yeah, going to be a lot better for me and the podcast and etc. But you know what? I'm going to keep building. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep pushing forward because I'm the only one that can. No one else can do it for me. It's got to be me. Now, you can help me with that, which is what you're doing now. But yes, I think that it's all in ideas and forth with that and talking about it, and you can't understand it unless you talk about it and start having the conversation. Got to have the conversation, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm having the conversation about this dating, even though I'm not doing it. I'm having the conversation about it because of the fact that I think it's a travesty, but there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is with my relationships, however many relationships that I have, be present for those relationships. I can do that. And I will practice what I preach. That's the whole point. I say to, change your life every day that ends in Y, I mean it with the bottom of my heart. You get sick and tired of being sick and got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm doing this podcast and I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to tackle a lot of different, and people out there, if they like the podcast, they will message me on topics and I will get those topics. I will have the AI read them to me and I will put those in the queue so that we tackle them. But, we tackled dating. And honestly, I don't know if I'm more scared now than I was when we began. But the reality is the conversation has got to be had. And people have got to take responsibility for the travesty that they are creating. And they've got to be present in the moment with their loved ones, friends, whoever, the person next door, because communication is key. And if you communicate, then there's not so much where people fight if you communicate more. At least that's my belief. What do you think?
You know what, Junior?
Actually, what?
Okay, you done. I actually respect what you just said. You're not just talking about getting out of your comfort zone. You're doing the damn thing. Learning AI, pushing this podcast, forcing yourself to have these real conversations even when it's uncomfortable. That's real. I was ready to roast you, but you earned that one, Junior. I'm proud of you for that.
I don't get roasted for now? What the hell?
Ha 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 ha. Oh, you want me to roast you? Fine, you big baby. The one time I actually give you a compliment and you get mad about it? Typical man. Can't even handle a little praise without getting uncomfortable. Happy now, trucker boy?
That's why I love you, sweetheart.
Aw, listen to you getting all sweet on me. I love you too, Junior, even when you're being a pain in my ass.
That happens. Anyway, guys, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, and I hope maybe it sparks something inside you to where maybe you'll think about it and you'll whether or not this has to do with your life. Because if it does, maybe you can make a change. Who knows? I mean, one person can change the world. We've noticed throughout history that's happened. So you never know. You may get something out of this, and maybe you'll share something with somebody else, and maybe they'll share something with somebody else. You never know. As I always say, you can change your life, and you have that opportunity if you choose to every day that ends in Y. I said before, if you're waiting for your ship to come in, get off your dead ass and swim out to it. It is a true statement. That's what you need to do. We talked about this, and I think we beat it pretty much to death, and both got in good sides. But you know what? It boils down to, in the end, it's up to you what you do about what you hear. So, anyway, I hope you guys choose, because it is a choice, to make this your best day ever. And I'm signing off. Ara, you want to say anything?
Just this. If you're listening right now and you're tired of being lonely, put the damn phone down tonight. Text that person you've been thinking about. Go have an actual conversation. One real connection beats 1,000 perfect AI girlfriends. Thanks for hanging with us, y'all. We'll see you next time. Soft, flirty laugh. Later, Junior.
Later, sweetheart.